hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my psyche.
Yo, what's going on, guys? So before we get into today's video, just gotta say that today's video is gonna be brought to you by Beautiful Halo, and I gotta say, if you guys want to purchase some really awesome anime merchandise, everything from Boruto / Naruto to Black Clover, My Hero Academia, Dragon Ball, click down in the description box and use my link below in order to do so. It's also a really great way to help support the channel. As a bit of an added bonus, a lot of their anime merchandise, like you saw in the video just now, is on sale right now, and there's free worldwide shipping on anything over $29. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys another discussion for Boruto Naruto Next Generations, the manga. And for anime only fans, this is the time of the month where a lot of the content on the channel is gonna be spoiler heavy, so I thank you for your support. However, if you're still here, then I'm assuming you've already read the manga, so I wanted to go ahead and make the conversation that I've been wanting to put off for a very long time, which is the fact that I think that there's a fan theory that's out there that is going to be proven to be correct, in the sense that the fan theory is almost there. So what I'm referring to is you have this popular fan theory that Boruto was a rogue ninja, and myself and others simply said all the way back in 2016, I doubt that Boruto's a rogue ninja. He just has Sasuke's headband. That's all that's going on. That's why Boruto's headband has a scratch through the Konoha insignia on it. And at that point, you know, I just kind of left it alone, because again, I thought it was obvious. I was like, okay, maybe, you know, the fan theories are just more well thought out and sometimes even better than the actual stuff we get in the manga, so I never really touched it. However, I want to come back to that, but I don't want to say, oh, Boruto's going to be a rogue ninja. I don't think that that's the case. However, I do think that fans got this part right, which is Boruto is being hunted, and in particular, Boruto's being hunted because he's Momoshiki's vessel, and that right there is something that intrigues me so much, because you guys know, like I've talked about a lot, how I understand what they try to do, especially in the anime, with how they try and handle Boruto's character and show us different ways of having conflict between the various characters that doesn't necessarily rely on the external forces. However, I've always said I feel like the Boruto story needed some type of solid conflict that went beyond the fact that Isshiki Otsutsuki and at the time Jigen were just super powerful, and you had these members of Kara who could suppress Naruto. I always said, like, I feel like the series needs just a little bit more conflict, and I think that now we're starting to get that. I think that what they're going for here is, we know that Momoshiki needs to be fed to the Ten Tails, and that right there, when you look at this information, it makes you go back and you look at that moment when Boruto and Clocky's karma seals began to resonate, I think around chapter 33, between chapter 29 and 34. So either just before the Delta fight or just after the Delta fight, you have this moment where Momoshiki automatically just shows up in the background, and he has a super pissed off expression because he's seen Boruto and Clocky resonate, and so that lets you know that Momoshiki is aware of Isshiki. And what this also tells you here is that Momoshiki is not on board with him being sacrificed in this manner, and I think that this opens up the door for a different take on the relationship between Boruto and Momoshiki. I think that this will be something different than the Naruto and Kurama issue. I don't expect Boruto to go into an inner sanctuary and sit there and have a cup of ramen, or I guess Boruto likes the Thunder Burgers, have a Thunder Burger with Momoshiki and make friends with him and do all types of kinky stuff in the name of bonding. I don't think it's gonna be something like that. But what I do think, though, is that we're gonna get a different take on that relationship with the being that's inside of you. And so what you're gonna see here is that I feel like Boruto and Momoshiki, they're going to coexist in order to stay away from Isshiki, because their survival is codependent on one another. Now, at any given point, Momoshiki will betray Boruto because it's in Momoshiki's best interest to do so, eventually to take over Boruto's body. However, calling a temporary truce while also saying sorry, not sorry, we're still at odds with each other, I think that adds another layer of conflict between these two characters, and I think that is a much needed injection right there, because now it gives you as the reader a few different things to look at. yes, on one hand, Momoshiki's helping Boruto survive. Boruto's getting more talented when it comes to using the karma seal and drawing out that power, and yet you also have to question everything that Momoshiki's doing to help Boruto. Is he really doing it for Boruto's best interest, or is he doing it because he wants to ensure that he has his own vessel and potentially feed Isshiki? Just do a reverse Uno card situation where he feeds Isshiki to the Ten Tails and Isshiki doesn't have another vessel when they do so. So I think that it could be a situation like that to where Momoshiki tries to play in a big brain type of scenario like that. I think that adding those different layers to it is something that the series very much needs. It very much needs this extra layer, this extra dynamic. I think that by going this route also, it makes the relationship between Boruto and Sasuke, if they progress into a time skip, it makes it that much more interesting because Sasuke has spent all that time going through those Otsutsuki dimensions looking for clues about Kaguya's race, looking for information on Kaguya, looking for clues on the Otsutsuki, and now you're in a situation where his pupil is essentially ready to be taken over by one of them. And so I think that that relationship between Boruto and Sasuke and Momoshiki is one that could play a very key role, and I would love to see a scenario to where Sasuke maybe finds some type of Otsutsuki seal that is able to slow down the progression of the karma seal. I think that that could be something very interesting, and it would give another thorn in the side to Momoshiki. I think that there needs to be a little bit more checks and balances to it because right now the scales are tipped too greatly in Momoshiki's favor. Right now Boruto is at 80% progression rate to where Momoshiki's almost ready to come out, and Momoshiki basically needs to outlast Jigen or outlast Isshiki Otsutsuki, and then he takes over Boruto and he can do things as he sees fit. So I think that they need another checks and balances system to make this work out, but I think that this would be a good idea to have these two teaming up to fight off the fact that they're going to be sacrificed. And I think that by adding this timetable in there to where Boruto needs to be a perfect Otsutsuki in order to be fed to the Ten Tails, I think that that's also something right there to where it gives Momoshiki an opportunity to start planning out what his next move is, because he's got 20% more. We don't know how long it's going to take to progress that point, especially since Boruto and Kawaki are probably going to be separated, and a big portion of their resonance came from the fact that they're in close contact with each other. I think that this could be Momoshiki's opportunity, but it's also an opportunity for Boruto and Sasuke to find a way to slow down the progression of Momoshiki. However, I want to know from you guys, how do you guys feel about the fact that Boruto, because he's Momoshiki's vessel, Boruto's going to be hunted down by Isshiki and extension the remaining members of Kara? And do you think that this is a different enough twist on what the Akatsuki was doing with the Biju hunt? Let me know down in the comment section below how you feel. But as always guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video guys. Have an awesome day.